Hey, we back. I'm here on Discord once again. We're talking about Karuta today, and more specifically, we're talking about tags. Now, I'm sure I've made a video about tags as a feature in the past. It's not new, nothing new there, but what I'm talking about today specifically is how to get the most out of tags. What makes a good tag, what makes a bad tag. There are some even necessary tags, and we'll start by talking about those. I'm going to bring up my tag list. The tag list you can bring up with ktags or ktl, and that will show you all of your tags. The way a tag works, just briefly, is that you have an emoji for it, you have a name for it, and you can apply it to some cards. So if I look at my collection, you can see all the emojis down the side, and as you can see, the fire emoji here is my cook tag. So I give a card the cook tag by typing KT Cook. That will do the most recent card. I could type KT Cook and then the code to give it that tag if I wanted, and that will just kind of label it, basically. Now, what is the point in this? There is a lot of points in this, actually. It's to remind you about stuff about your collection, tell other people about stuff about your collection, and it's also just for organization. Going from most important tags down, I would say my cook tag is definitely the most important here. This is your stereotypical burn tag, and I stress this a lot. Everybody should have a burn tag. Whether you call it burn or not is not so important. Obviously, I've called mine cook, but you do probably want to have the fire emoji there because pretty much everyone uses the fire emoji for their burn tag because it makes sense. There is a lot of important things about having a burn tag. Burning cards in general is important. When you burn a card, you're going to get some gold, you're going to get some dust, and that is a currency that is good to have. You will need some gold and some dust at some point. Everyone will. You can also sell it, buy it, all the rest of it depending on what you want. So this is good stuff. You want to be burning cards, but as I always say, don't burn cards right when you grab them for many reasons. Firstly, the amount of gold that you get for a card will only go up over time. This is the most recent card that I got. You can see it's right at the top of my collection. If I burn it now, I get 23 gold. If I wait a month and then burn it, I will probably get more gold than that, because it will then not be the most recent print of that card. There will be later prints, and that pushes the value up. It does the same thing with effort. Effort and gold are based off very similar calculations. And the amount of gold that you can get realistically isn't going to go down. In theory, it could go down if the card loses loads of wish lists for some reason and everyone suddenly burns it, something like that. But in general, the amount of gold that you get will only go up. So saving them is good. However, you can't really leave them in your collection, just forget about them if you don't tag them, because then when you come back later, you've got 1,000 cards, you don't know which ones you're burning, it's going to take forever. Whereas with the command k-multi-burn, you can burn a filter of your card. So I could go k-multi-burn tag cook, and that's going to burn all of the cards that I have tagged cook. So this is why you should always have a burn tag. It enables you to still burn all the cards that you want to get rid of, but you get more gold for them. And plus, in the meantime, someone can come along, look at your collection and go, I actually collect Genshin Impact cards. I see that you're burning this one. I'll buy that off you. And because they know you're burning it, they get it really cheap and you get more than the burn value. Everyone's happy. Hey, do try and keep cards around in your collection just in case someone wants to buy them at some point. More often than not, someone won't buy individual cards from you, but they might come along and say, I see you've got, 6,500 cards. I'm going to check all of your One Piece characters. I see you've got 50 of them because you haven't burnt your cards in a while. I will buy all of them for this bulk price, and you're happy, they're happy, everyone's happy. It's good stuff. So there you go. There's the burn tag. This is the most important tag for everybody. You should make sure you have a burn tag. Other tags are less important. A trade tag is very good. Tag cards that you're planning on trading or selling or something like that, so that someone can look at your collection of tradable cards and then pick some that they want to buy. I actually have 2 trade tags, because I have the trade tag here, but I also have the ad tag, and this is a tag of cards that I have posted on an ad in the Karuta Hub server, so I know that when a card sells off my ad, I replace it with one of the ones on trade, so I don't get duplicate cards on my trade ads. That's just me, you don't need to do that. But see, this is for the personal organization kind of thing. It means that I can search my own cards by trade, like this, and then I can go, oh, I'm going to sell this one today? Sure, let's put that on my ad. Other people can also look at them. These are organization kind of tags, right? This is for keeping cards around longer tags. This is for organization tags. Other people will look at your collection, see things like that. Then we also have maybe a tag for things that you're not going to sell. So for example, I've got my Epic Waifu card. If someone looks at my collection and sees a card that is tagged with Epic Waifu, they probably know that you're not going to sell it, and they're less likely to buy it from you. So you get less random DMs just going, hey, can I buy this card? And you having to say no because it's your favorite character. Because they can probably use their brain and figure out that it is the Epic Waifu tag. This is also why you should never have your tags list as private, because if you have your tags list as private, then other people can't figure that out. Other tags that I've got, things like workers, tag for worker, makes sense. If your job board has an injured worker and you want to replace it, you can find them there, etc. And you can have whatever tags for random things that you collect. I've got one for objects, because I collect objects, and characters that are Discord emotes and stuff like that. That's all just personal stuff. If you don't collect that stuff, then, you know, whatever. If you collect a particular type of card, make a tag for it. Why not? However, don't go too hard on this, because the point of these tags is for organization. And what I see a lot of people doing is making a tag for a series. Let's suppose I collect, you know, One Piece as a series. I might make a One Piece tag and then tag all my cards from One Piece with it. This is actually entirely redundant, because we can already sort cards by series with series thing, or S for short, instead of the tag thing, or T for short. If I type this in, it's already going to show me all of my cards from One Piece. I don't need a tag to sort them by One Piece, I can already do that. So by adding a tag of cards from One Piece, that's entirely redundant information, and it kind of clutters up your tag list as well. Firstly, you're going to have to remember all of these, but I see some people with up to like 100 tags. Are you actually tagging your cards consistently if you have that many? You're more likely than not going to forget about a tag that you made 6 months ago and forget to tag a card by that tag. And this means that your tags are actually entirely useless, because let's say I've got the One Piece tag and then I forget about it and I don't tag one of my One Piece cards. That means searching this shows all of the One Piece cards, but searching it with the tag that I've then forgotten about only shows half of them. So your tags are never consistent if you have that many. Plus it means other people looking at your tags list trying to figure out which cards you're trading and which ones they can ask about. They can't figure it out either, because you've got 100 tags and they can't look through them all. It's silly. And this is very typical of people making tags for series, because if you're collecting like 50 different series, then yeah, you're going to end up with 50 tags, one for each series, but it's all entirely redundant information, and it's going to end up being very inconsistent clutter. The only advantage of this is cosmetic. You get to put your emoji of the cards that you like next to it. So I could put like a pirate flag for the One Piece characters, and I could put it here, and then all of their emojis would be pirate flags, and that might be slightly cool. Admittedly, that's slightly cool, but you're certainly not getting much out of your tags if you're doing that. It is entirely cosmetic, and tags are actually useful for you and for other people looking at your collection for organization, and it's all just redundant information, so I would not recommend doing stuff like that, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That being said, of course, you can do whatever you like with your tags. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just talking about some strategy. That's the point of these videos, and I think that adding inconsistent and redundant data to your search results for you and other people is kind of silly. So I would recommend not doing that, especially since you're going to end up with tags that almost like cross each other. If you get a One Piece card that you want to trade, which tag do you add it to? The One Piece tag or the trade tag? You need to set up your tags with a particular format in mind, such that they are all going to be unique. If you can. Of course, this isn't always possible. but do your best. And it's not super important either, but it'll make your life easier. It'll make everyone else looking at your collection's lives easier. It actually will probably make it easier for you to sell cards, buy cards, all the rest of it, because people know what you're looking for, and people are able to help you out with that. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Some tips with tags, and I will leave this one here. Bye!